Where do you turn when all of the good books have been read? Who do you call when you don't know what to read next? Do not fear! Captain Literary is here! Do, 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 do. Enemy of overhype, defender of underrated stories and proponent of quality and structure, Captain Literary, fighting for good books and great reads. Greetings, citizens. Today I'm here to tell you about Steelheart by Sanderson. If you only read one book this year, which is a completely crazy and ridiculous idea, who in their right minds would only read one book in an entire year? Regardless, if you only read one book this year, it quite possibly should be Steelheart. This book is amazing. This is about a world with superheroes. Or, to be more accurate, and don't let the get-up confuse you, super villains. Because everyone who possesses these unexplained amazing powers is evil. The world Sanderson has created here is realistic and incredible, intricate and baffling. I loved it. I was sucked into this book. I devoured it. I stayed up until 2 a.m. to finish this book, and believe me, citizens, that has not happened in a very long time. This is not just a great young adult, or a superhero, or sci-fi. This is not just a good story. This is an excellent book. I do not care what your favorite genre is. I don't care what your reading niche is. You need to read this book. This went straight onto my top recommendation shelf on Goodreads. This is a book that I think everyone needs to read at some point in their lives because it's just that good. Not only is the story great and the concept engrossing, but the characters are amazing. They're all deep, with great personalities and quite a few quirks. My two favorite characters are probably Cody, who is just bizarre and eccentric and has a great backstory, which we only saw a little of, but it's great nonetheless. Also, David. He is the main character, and it is actually rare for me to find the main character one of my favorite characters. I usually prefer one of the sidekicks, and I'm really not sure why. It just is. David, however, David is compelling. He's driven for revenge, but he also conducts himself with a code of honor. He's a total nerd, impulsive, socially awkward, and really, really sucks at metaphors. I mean, really sucks. And it's completely hilarious. So he's funny, awkward, good in a firefight, heroic, and driven by a mission. So what's not to love about that? There are a lot of things that I wish I could talk to you about this book. A lot of things that I wish I could say about the storyline and the plot. But I'm afraid that it would spoil too much and give too much away, and so I can't talk to you about it. But just trust me. It's amazing. It's well written, it's well thought out, it's well planned, it's well developed. This is a really good book. One of the things that I really like about this story is that it remains optimistic. Like I've said, this is a good story. Bad things happen. A lot of bad things. There are a lot of struggles, there is a lot of death, there is a lot of conflict. It is not like a happy-go-lucky kind of story. There is raw emotion, there are things that go wrong, there is despair and loss and pain, but it manages to retain a grain of hope, some optimism. A lot of stuff that happens in this book could be considered depressing, but reading it does not make me feel depressed. So while a lot of horrible things happen in the story to the characters, it remains hopeful and optimistic, and that is what I think a good story should do. It shouldn't bring you down, it should build you up. It should show you that despite people getting beaten down or beaten up or losing their capes, there is always a way to rise back up again. This is about using bad things to build yourself, to make yourself better, and that is why it remains optimistic despite all of the tragic and drastic things that happen, and that is what I really love about the story. Well, it's one of the things that I really love about the story, because like I said, this is a really good book. So, I'm going to stop gushing now. It probably comes as no surprise to you that Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson gets 5 stars. This is the first book in the Reckoners series, and the second book is coming out this fall, which is going to be a really long wait. But I will endure. So go out, get yourself a copy of Steelheart, read it. She has totally lost it. Just smile and nod, man. Smile and nod.